Holy crap. Hey man.
Republicans,
What are you doing? We're getting shot at. Oh, I'm just looking at prime 2021 anti-talk before the Civil War. Oh, for real? Damn, dude, it's been 4 years. Yeah, man. How did this all happen? 2020 was one wild year. We had the COVID virus, Trump's butchering of handling the COVID virus, the Hunter Biden scandal, which was like blacklisted from medias until after the election, George Floyd, the BLM riots, Donald Trump getting impeached, Donald Trump probably doing 30 other things the majority of the populace disliked, and overall, it was just an odd year. Now imagine if it was so much worse. Like imagine the political group that lost stormed our nation's capital, like that'd be insane. So that's pretty much what Hearts of Iron 4 The Fire Rises is. If shit can go wrong, it goes wrong. So let's light the flame, ladies and gentlemen. January 1st, 2020. The nation was coming to the close of Donald Trump's 4th year as president, and ending his first, albeit controversial, term. The populace was split, most seeing Trump as someone who didn't do anything except brag upon the success of the Obama economy, calling it his own, while others had felt Donald had improved the economy. The truth? I'm not reading all the bills Trump signed into effect to find out. Immediately, the nation had geared towards militarial improvements, despite the fact that we were still prospering on our decades of peace. The technological improvements included thermal optics for our rifles, research upon training for special troops, drone launch platforms, and an improved airframe for our large aircraft. Soon after, projects were approved to launch new military factories all around southern states, including Georgia, which will totally not have lasting consequences. And I made all of our naval factories make convoys because I am not doing naval. After this, Donald was briefed upon the current popularity of political associations, finding out people don't really like conservatives all that much. We need to ban whatever a social libertarian is from government. Donald, we don't have any social libertarians in government. Blame Obama. A month later, on February 5th, the State of the Union saw Donald Trump try to ease the mild concerns of the rising COVID virus, and Nancy Pelosi tore up Donald's speech right behind him, which received mild reactions from both sides. Eventually, soon after this, the beginning of plans for Joe Biden's campaign against Donald began. And it just went downhill.
The arrest of a former Minneapolis police officer for the murder of George Floyd. The governor fully mobilizing the National Guard for the first time in U.S. history.
Many of those who are spreading violence in our cities are supporters of an organization called Black Lives Matter, BLM. This is the agenda of an extreme socialist, or worse, you know what the other word is, yeah, Marxist, communist.
And given a fair shot, given a fair chance, Americans have never, ever, ever, ever let their country down.
In the first 100 days of my presidency, I've committed to create a National Police Oversight Commission.
Defeating the radical left.
Anybody who didn't stand up and clap for him was un-American and then maybe even treasonous.
They say it was tongue-in-cheek. Democrats can't take a joke.
Let me tell you, he's a joke.
In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating. I am your voice.
Because we do not scare easily. We never bow. We never bend. We never break when confronted with crisis. No, we endure. We overcome. And we always, always, always move forward.
And with that, Joe Biden was inaugurated on January 20th at the White House. However, Trump was doing the same halfway across the country with his own military and government loyalists, preparing for the breaking point of the 21st century. Biden understood what he needed to do. He prepared to do as much repair as he could for the country before the Civil War, passing bills to build back better, as well as promising change for the more progressive side of the left. Quickly after, reconciliation with the Republicans were made to try and repair the damage done by Donald. However, the majority of the right had already started showing signs of loyalty to whatever new government Trump was planning. Disaster was coming, and the only thing POTUS could do was try to prepare the country. As more and more radical groups of all political spectrums began organizing, there was one that spoke out to a certain bird. Oh wait, that's me. Yeah, we went the Apple branch. I wanted to see if I could make Gavin Newsom the supreme leader of socialism. Reddit finessed the GameStop stocks to make millions. Thanks for that, guys. And taking a new look at the political spectrum, and holy fuck, fascism is really popular. Okay. The Civil War was on its way. We quickly began putting out motions to the press to try and sway as many people as we can to the democracy of the American government. Additional talks with moderates were made. I tried to convert Ron DeSantis to the People's Liberation Army, and he put another $1 million down for contracts on those fugly, stupid, cookie-cutter suburban homes. Please, Ronald, please get rid of them, please! We promised progress to our widow wedded. Aw, so cute. Our debt kept rising, but low-key, it's just numbers, you know? It isn't real, I think. And this all led to the death of Wall Street, the worldwide economic crash, and Army communications fell silent with Fort Knox, Dix, and Benning having not responded to orders and been seen mobilizing at 4 in the morning preparing to cross the Potomac Bridge. America collapsed. But guess what? Not our problem, baby! We're in Cali! Woo! Oh wait, we're in Cali. Fuck! Comrade Bird, we have briefing for you. Oh shit, for real? On October 18th at 9 p.m., as I'm sure you're well aware, our official announcement of the leftist coalition was made. Could you explain that, comrade? You do not need to say it like slur American. Okay. You see, we are made up of 4 groups: the Jacobins, the Octoberists, Anarchists, and Neo-Socialists. The Jacobins believe in the core economic principles of socialism, however want to keep the conservatism of American society the same, seeing progressive movements like LGBTQ and women's rights hurtful to the working class. So, Thomas Russo, if he likes socialism, and wasn't a racist. Gotcha. The Octoberists are more faithful to the principles of socialism, valuing the aspects of feminism and LGBTQ progressiveness to uplift the working class further. Anarchists believe in the complete decolonization of the American society, wanting the immediate translation to communism. So they're stupid? Yes, Comrade Bird, they are stupid. The Neo-Socialists are the closest to the American society, wanting to write the Bill of Socialism, which adds on to the already American Constitution, guaranteeing water, food, shelter, wage caps, income security, and advanced healthcare as basic human rights. Well, who should I favor? I don't know. We immediately began setting up our government to centralize the party so an equal voice can be heard by all. Very soon after, we quickly organized our militia, our first general being Raymond Luck, and second being Spencer Rapone, our third being Daniel Baker, and with our final promotion going to Danny. I'm not pronouncing his last name. Soon after, construction of our military factories began, and an analyzation of our surroundings told us a few things. Our capital and home of government was surrounded, and with a quick debate, it was decided upon that we would hold our ground, and not let our first declaration as brothers and sisters of the working class be to abandon our capital. Our first notion of war was for General Raymond to reconnect our lines with San Francisco, while our other generals played defensively, using guerrilla tactics to ambush our enemies and not let them take an inch of land. The early hours had seen success, with no major attack having been made yet on our capital. Raymond slowly picked away at the militia in San Jose as General Spencer held the line against the former governor Gavin Newsom. Volunteer forces from Venezuela, North Korea, and Cuba had offered to join our fight, to which we swiftly agreed. Except North Korea. We kinda didn't get why they'd want to help us. However, from the famous words of George Washington, a gun is a gun, yo. We decided to also divert forces from the north of our capital, led under General Jan, to take over Santa Rosa, and General Danny suggested for us to preemptively push towards San Jose before they attack us. Unfortunately, General Danny had perhaps been rash in his decision-making, as their forces were stuck trying to push forward with no progress being made. In the coming days, fighting continued, with our centralized governments finally being set up, and our next goal being to rebuild the bureaucracy. The UN had decided to intervene into the US, taking Miami? Thanks, I guess. And almost 3 weeks later, we took Santa Rosa and encircled their remaining troops, securing the north of our capital. However, our victory was soon short-lived, as a Jacobin and anarchists had gotten into a debate and a firefight resulted in losing 4 lives. Instead of bickering about whose fault it was, we decided to take the harsh decision to centralize our command, which, while needing to take many months with disorganization in our plan-making, will in the end prove more prosperous against our enemies. The first action done by our new centralized command was to approve production of weaponized Toyotas. Why Toyotas? A week later, we established a proper court system for the organized representation of our rights. The members of the mafia we had taken out had asked if they could join the cause, and of course we allowed them in. Hey, guys, we're not gonna smoke cigars in the courtroom, okay? But Comrade the Bird, we look like cool gangsters. What better way to learn to be a gangster from gangster? Comrade Yuri, put out that damn cigar. A half week later, we took down the San Jose Defense Committee, securing San Francisco completely and capturing a Lockheed Martin facility which will be used to our advantage to craft F-16s for the movement. With our capital secure, all forces sent to defend San Francisco were retasked to... Comrade, what does this say?
Трахнуть врага в задницу.
Go fuck enemy in the... Oh, you, Yuri, what the fuck? What, Comrade Bird? That was the gist of what I understood from the council meeting. Yeah, but come on, man. Be a little more serious. Unfortunately, a gap of misunderstanding from our command left San Francisco defenseless. Uh-oh. The Red Cross had requested entry a few hours later, to which we agreed upon, much to everyone but the neo-socialist distaste. So we're liberating the people, but not saving the people from the infrastructural collapse. Okay, guys! We soon seized our enemies in Oakland and redistributed our men to the Gavin Newsom front. And... yeah? Hey, we have an enemy marching into San Francisco. Enemy forces surrounded our capital, but it did not take long for us to recapture it with a swift retribution. As the weeks of fighting continued, news was received that Biden was taking down Trump so far in the war. However, the growing powers of the neo-Nazi and patriot parties was alarming. An additional alarming fact was the motherfucking Atomwaffen division was actually gaining land. I quickly found out that my troops had been giving poopy-doo-doo piss shit fuck dammit orders. I blame Yuri. But it was quickly fixed and troops moved to save our other troops from encirclement. We got news that the People's Air Force had been formed with 200 F-16s having been made from the Lockheed Martin facility. And with that, we were prepared to really ruin Gavin's day. 10 days later, the encircled troops were able to escape and secure a port to be resupplied thanks to the efforts of our forces beneath, distracting the state militia. And a week after that, our territory finally formed a complete border, with the remaining enemies being encircled and soon taken down. With the north borders finally being secure, we went to the south and easily crushed Gavin's already crumbling defense, and on August 10th at 1 in the morning, Gavin Newsom surrendered to our forces. It had been 296 days since we began, and our celebrations marched upon the streets of Hollywood all the way to San Francisco, celebrating the empowerment of the people. Our independence was secured, and the next move was to establish our Congress. The biggest proposition would be the power of the president. The Jacobins wanted absolute power to be given to the leader. However, some Octoberists and neo-socialists worried this may develop a dictatorship. These Octoberists and neo-socialists suggested to keep the powers the same as the president, with Senate elections and checks and balances of a democracy so the people will feel represented. It was decided upon. Brothers, sisters, we stand today united, having defeated the enemies of the people's voice. No longer will the people suffer under the oppressive powers of Wall Street and struggle to meet ends meet due to the corruption stemmed from the lobbying in the old American government, from those who let greed control their humanity. Today, with the help of neo-socialists and Octoberists alike, we have written the Bill of Workers' Independence. This beautiful bill adds onto what was created by the forefathers, adding the 23rd Amendment, the right to universal health care, the 24th Amendment, the right to an enclosed shelter, the 25th Amendment, the right to food and water, and the 26th Amendment, the right to education and information. This bill will solidify the basic human rights that we rebelled for on October 18th and bring a new age of prosperity for our people. We, as Octoberists, neo-socialists, Jacobins, workers, people, unite to allow humanity to prosper for the new millennium and to never look back, but only forward. Comrade the Bird, you forgot the anarchists. That was on purpose, Yuri. Shut up, we're gonna use power. Ah, very smart, Comrade the Bird. I know, right? When all the workers are done under us, we'll just swoop in with our military loyalists and enslave the working class and bless
Benson Doom
to keep them happy, so they don't revolt. Genius, Comrade. Genius. We quickly moved to agree on a deal to unify the West Coast. We planned on heading north first to our fake socialists who have a totalitarian government. What a bunch of losers. It's not like I'd ever do something like that. What basically went on for the next couple weeks in summary was I built up our forces, organized how they would attack to the North Socialists and the Federal Air Command, and scrolled Twitter. Should I have paid more attention? Maybe upgrade the unit template from being called the fucking Toyota troops than arguing with Elon Musk on how Grokkapedia is stupid? No, I don't regret it. But anyways, we declared war on the North, which went horribly. Look at the date. It was a month, and we hadn't advanced at all. I knew to break through I'd probably have to move our self-troops preparing for war on the air command, but the problem was supply distribution would suck even more so, because we're in the mountains. And after another month, we did just that. And we still hadn't broken through. We are the same. We want to enslave the working class under the guise of uplifting it. I'm just being the more sneaky man. We really don't have to fight. And look at the supply map. We have air support, a surplus of trains and trucks, and it's fighting on a railroad, but they're still getting fucked. Comrade Yuri, if we don't break through those enemy lines, I want you to shoot every fucking cabinet member in the back of the head. About 6 months ago, we finally began breaking enemy lines and pushing up, eventually causing a rift in the enemy territory. However, the supply lines, or lack of them, weren't enough to keep our men supplied. This was rough. War support was dropping, people started questioning why we were in a war fighting ourselves, and with Donald Trump winning the war against Joe Biden, the future of socialism was looking bad. And that went on for 7 more months. But then, like a saving grace. Alright, we need to discuss the decline of our support in our military operations.
Well, comrade, if you don't get support, we need to win. Let's go to Mexico.
Hey, great idea. Wait a minute, was that Mickey Mouse? So we laid out our preparations to invade New Mexico. This general right here was going to lead the charge against New Mexico, and on September 30th, war was declared. The push was an immediate success, with the 14th Battalion breaking through and deriving the Toyotas all the way to Albuquerque with the 11th Rosa Parks Battalion? Alright, who the fuck named it that? But anyways, Rosa Parks took over the Santa Fe capital and New Mexico surrendered. And after only a singular month of fighting, we had a huge territory gain.
Fuck the boo-boos, yeah! Yeah, no more Starbucks!
Too far, man. Operation I heavily dislike New Mexico and want to liberate and uplift the working class was a success, and we are ready to take on the Federal Air Command. Our borders aligned, ready to attack from the south and west. The first stage went well, with our bordering capital immediately being taken and troops further along the west moving to cut the Air Command's territory in half. But there was an oopsie in command. We forgot to tell our northern troops that we were going to war, and people neighboring them quickly started to encircle us. The mistake in command was attempted to be fixed, but unfortunately, we would lose ground and make it harder for our brothers and sisters to keep the land that took us 3 years to acquire. We made the hard choice to retreat back and hold our borders. I blame the anarchists. Soon after, the Focus Resistance, Federal Air Command, and Los Vagos fell, with us allying with the southern western tribes, beginning the process to integrate them to our society. Man, we are doing good, aren't we, Yuri? Yuri? Comrade the bird, Donald Trump has declared war on us. Motherfuck! So hey guys, remember how I said those 30-ish factories I built all over Georgia earlier would fuck me over? Well, you see, about a year ago, Trump went to war against the Confederacy, don't ask me how they came back, and Trump was basically sitting on a pile of weapons and armor, which he donated to Texas, who was also invading us. He easily struck us when we were unprepared, and slowly, we lost New Mexico, the Federal Air Command, our northern and western California states due to the lack of manpower we had from almost 5 years of constant war and high casualties. The day was September 1st, 2025. And Donald had just entered our capital. So yeah, that's how we got here. Damn, dude. Holy shit, is that a flying Statue of Liberty? With a MAGA hat on? Yeah, I'm done. I surrender. Me too, man. Comrade the bird, they are at the gates! Damn it to hell. Yuri, barricade the door! Wait, comrade, I have escape plan. Follow me! Comrade, it is time machine I built. Set to 1936. Go back. Ensure the motherland's ascent to the world power. Wait, no, you're coming with. Comrade the bird, I will ensure machines work. I built this ever since those mega people declared war on us. You can build a time machine? Yeah, you're coming with. Dude, holy shit. Comrade the bird, I have downloaded a game where you catch cute little creatures, Monpokey, and all
Benson Dune
albums to this solar-powered phone. Dude, you're my fucking brother, man. Comrade, seeing as the populace here is uneducating and very big on national pride, we don't need to disguise ourselves to uplift the working class and instead just, how would you put it? Fuck you, we are enslaving you? You're right. Alright, yeah, let's just be fascist. But non-racist and non-sexist ones, just the ones that want to enslave everyone. My thoughts exactly, comrade.
La 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 la. La 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 la